Today at EA Play, Respawn Entertainment officially revealed the first look gameplay for Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order. And it's everything we thought it would be, and more. Before this, there were a lot of leaked comparisons to the gameplay with that of Dark Souls, Force Unleashed, and God of War. And looking at what we got, then yeah, for the most part, that's what this is gonna be. Now to me, it kinda feels more of a mix of God of War and Uncharted, but that might be because of the jungle-like setting that gave me that impression. Now the gameplay itself that was shown at EA Play is actually set on Kashyyyk. So Cal is already at this point at a particular skill level where he's able to go toe-to-toe with the Purge/Inquisitor troopers and not get himself killed. The goal on Kashyyyk will be to infiltrate an Imperial base and set the Wookiee prisoners free. In the gameplay we see, Cal faces off against several different enemy types, such as Stormtroopers, KX series droids, Scout Troopers of electric staffs, the Purge Troopers, Flamethrowers, and as well as the Wishoks, which are the natural predatorial giant spiders that live on Kashyyyk. Another interesting feature that we learned from the gameplay is the inclusion of Saw Gerrera and the Partisans in the story. Now at first I was a little taken back by this, considering when I first saw the Rebel Pathfinder gear, I automatically assumed the Rebel Alliance was working with Cal. However, that's not really the case here, and what we get does make sense. As during this timeline of the story, Saw and the Partisans were a part of the Rebel Alliance, which is why the Partisans are equipped with the Rebel gear. But of course, Saw being Saw does some controversial things that doesn't see him and his group last long with the Rebels. It's actually quite an interesting story, and if you want to learn more about that, then I did an entire Declassified video on the Partisans that focuses on exactly that if you want to check it out. Now while the gameplay for Jedi Fallen Order does look like fun, especially the use of different force powers in different situations, and just the lightsaber combat in general, which seems to be very satisfying. The lightsaber itself feels like it has some weight to it, and I'm interested to see how different it will feel like when you're actually playing the game than just watching the gameplay. Because the gameplay that was shown was actually played through one of Respawn's expert players, so of course everything looks easy when they're playing the game. It's gonna be a different story when it's someone playing who's not that great at video games. With that being said, there were a few nitpicks that I noticed in the gameplay, one of which being that there is no dismemberment in the game. And while that is a shame, I can't say I'm surprised at the same time. Usually dismemberment hasn't really been a thing in official Star Wars games, and that's something left off for the modding community to take care of. Which is why I'm glad this game is going to be on PC. So we should hopefully see some pretty cool mods for it later on this year. Another nitpick I had was the voices for the Purge Troopers, which if you noticed didn't sound anything like Clone Trooper voices, but instead Stormtrooper. Which is weird as they're supposed to be clones, at least the Inquisitor Troopers are. However, to their credit, it didn't take long for this to be answered and clarified by Matt Martin from the Lucasfilm Story Group. Which, mind you, also answers my question on why Purge Troopers are called that and not Inquisitor Troopers like in the comics. And that's basically because while the two troops each share the same armor and job, the Inquisitor Troopers are actually clones, while the Purge Troopers are just, I suppose you can call them an elite variation of Stormtrooper. And hearing that makes so much more sense for all of this actually. And one last nitpick I also had was about the Flame Trooper and how Respawn decided to go with their own custom-made design for it, rather than use the already canon Imperial Flame Trooper design. It's kind of annoying and most people won't even notice or care about this, I know. But I did, and well, what can I say, I'm known to be nitpicky about these sorts of things. There were also a few other details that we didn't get to see in the gameplay but were seen by the game's media behind the scenes, such as that Cal will be able to pilot an AT-AT at one point during the game, and you'll also have some downtime on your ship when traveling from planet to planet. In addition to this, the pre-order content for Jedi Fallen Order comes with some pretty neat customizables and gives us some teases and hints for what's to be in the game, such as a yellow skin for BD-1, an orange lightsaber blade, and a Mygeeto and Umbara campaign hills. Which basically tells us that both Mygeeto and Umbara will have their own missions to play on during the campaign. Which I don't know about you, but that's very cool to hear. Because while this game is set during the Galactic Civil War era, we're still gonna be seeing a lot of different cool planets and Easter eggs from the Clone Wars. And that should please both the original and the prequel trilogy fans a lot. Now all we did get to see at EA Play was the alpha gameplay, but I'd expect to soon be seeing footage of the beta gameplay start to pop up at the end of the summer or around September. So if there was anything you didn't quite like from the alpha footage, then that might get tweaked later on. Oh, and as a reminder, Jedi Fallen Order does come out on November 15 for the Xbox One, PlayStation 4, and PC. But that'll just about do it for me. Let me know down in the comments on what you guys thought about the gameplay and if you're actually more excited now after seeing the game in action. Or if you feel the exact opposite, and in that case, do tell us why. But for all your Star Wars news, keep it here to Silo. This is N7 from Silo, signing off.